Let's connect with Mr. Sudhir Vasudeva, Chairman and Managing Director of ONGC. Mr. Vasudeva, good morning and thank you for joining us. Post the Q2 earnings, how do your cash reserves stand now, and how does it compare with your expansion plans?
See, the cash reserves, what we had on 31st of March was about 13,000 crores. And in this first quarter, we got about $40.17 of net realization. Second quarter, we got 44.8, and it comes to an average of $42.56. So we have made a calculation projecting about $43 of net realization for the year, and then it comes to a figure that we probably will have to draw down about 5,000 crore rupees in this year to meet our outlay, and almost same amount next year.
Mr. Vasudeva, hi, morning. So what's the outlook on realizations over the next couple of quarters?
So it's very difficult to project anything, but even if you talk about Dr. Kirit Parekh committee recommendations, their recommendation is to continue with this formula of $56 a barrel this year and make it to a graduated scale from next year. So if we presume that the same subsidy mechanism is going to continue, we have already paid about 26,400 crore rupees in this first half. And if the oil prices remain what they were in the first half, then this will be just almost double of what we have paid. So it will be about 54,000 crore rupees of subsidy burden for us. But what is projected is, with diesel prices gradually being increased, the projected subsidy burden is going to be something like 1,40,000 crores. So we only hope that this is equitably shared between government and the E&P companies.
But you have been quite aggressive over the past few months on asset acquisitions. Give us a peek into your plans over the next forthcoming quarter or the year, so to speak.
It will be very difficult to put any target in terms of amount or numbers, but yes, we have many irons in the fire, and we have to keep trying that, because we have set ourselves a very ambitious target, and the target for OVL is to get about 20 million ton of oil and oil equivalent every year by the time we reach 2018, and bring it to a level of 60 million ton by the time we reach 2030. So, and today we are only at a level of about 8.5 million tons. So the target is very, very steep.
But how did depreciation of the rupee impact the financials this quarter?
Yes. In this quarter, the day was saved for ONGC by rupee depreciation only. It is a little paradoxical, but in terms of net realization, the net realization was only $42.56 for the first half and $44 for the quarter. But in terms of rupee, we got more than what we got in the corresponding quarter last year. That's how we have been able to manage our profitability.
So what kind of subsidy outgo has ONGC borne in the first half of FY14?
Yeah, we paid about 12,600 crores in first quarter and 13,796 crores in the second quarter. So for the first half, it comes to something like 26,400 crores.
So can you give us any indication on the compensation in the second half, especially as GAIL will not bear any subsidy compensation during the period?
See, it is never indicated upfront. We come to know only after the end of the quarter. So whatever is the price of crude oil during the quarter determines as to what will be the under recovery, and based on that the calculations are there. And with $56 per barrel of oil production, and in case of ONGC with condensate also being accounted for in oil, it amounts to about $63 to $64 per barrel for every barrel of oil production for us. So if 105 or 106 is the gross realization, we get only $44 or $45 per barrel.
So what is your assessment of Dr. Kirit Parekh committee's recommendation on upstream subsidy? Is the cap at $60 if crude goes above 120 feasible? And will there be a breather in terms of clarity on upstream compensation?
Dr. Kirit Parekh committee report is is welcome, but only thing is it is falling short of our expectations. It is based on a graduated scale. It starts with 40% to be given to government at $80 and comes to 50% at $120. So only if the oil price is $120, we'll get $60. Whereas the matter of the fact is that today we need $60 to maintain our profitability. And even the brownfield IOR and EOR implementation is not possible because the break even is more than $60. New field, again, we are moving to difficult terrains, whether it is oil and gas. So unless until we get remunerative prices, it is becoming extremely difficult. The margins are always constantly under pressure.
So which geographies is OVL currently scoring for asset acquisition post Mozambique as well as Azerbaijan? Is the appetite still intact?
Yes, appetite is very much intact, and when we are looking at the entire globe, wherever we can get any opportunity or any hydrocarbon resources, whether it is conventional or unconventional, everything is welcome.
Has ONGC finalized its funding plans for both Videocon and Naduka's Mozambique stake in Rubano 1, and what is the route which ONGC will be adopting?
Yes, for Videocon deal, which we have to conclude by end of this year, we have already almost concluded the short-term or the bridge loan because the bond market is not really conducive today. And for Anadarko, we are starting the process because we have to complete that transaction by end of February.
Mr. Vasudeva, ONGC has received the cabinet nod for shale gas exploration as well. What's your action plan this fiscal? Also, can you tell us the targeted investment and estimated reserves as well for the same?
Is that we have taken note of the shale gas policy which has been announced, and we have in fact, I'm letting the cat out of the bag that we have already spudded the first well in western onshore in Kembe Basin, and we plan to drill about 10 wells this year and 20 wells next year. But these are only exploratory wells. We have kept tentatively a few hundred crores for this, but as we start working on that, and if depending upon the outcome of the shale which we encounter, we may have to deviate from this, we may have to go for hydrofracturing, etc., and the cost can even probably increase. But at this stage, it is not possible to give figures of the estimated potential other than what is already known in the public domain. Once we are able to start this work of exploration, we'll be able to update that and bring it more accuracy to those estimates.
Right, Mr. Vasudeva, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us.